If you've been on social media recently, which I know you have been, you have definitely probably most likely seen something about wall staring. And it's become more and more common, like people setting at silence, like dopamine detox, reclaiming attention spans, and it's getting more mainstream. You've probably scrolled past them thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, my attention span is probably bad too. One more scroll. But here's the thing that no one is telling you though. If you're a student especially, it's not just some general productivity issue. Your attention span is actively hurting your grades right now, and you genuinely don't realize by how much. The reason that you can't focus on lessons, the reason revision feels impossible, the reason that studying feels difficult, and hence the reason that your grades are low is not because school got hard, and it's not because you're silly or stupid either. It's because your brain has been quietly rewired by your phone over the last few years. And once you actually understand what's happening, you can't just go back to scrolling the same way. It's like finding out about processed foods.
So this is where we synthesize our chicken nuggets.
This is a nuclear waste facility.
But for your focus. And OG viewers will know that I've been talking about attention span from like day one. Like I think I've been making attention span videos since like 2-3 years ago. But the point being, I'm making this video because this type of content is becoming more and more mainstream, yet people aren't taking it on board, especially students. And so in this video, I'm going to be telling you exactly the science of what happens to your brain, what I've tried as a student before, including like the 7-day tech fast, why wall staring works, but it's not enough, and exactly what to do if you want to fix this and uncook your attention span before your exams. And before we get into anything, I just want you to do this. Pick up your phone and check your screen time. What is it? 3, 5, 7, 9 hours? And I just want you to think, like, because that's a lot of time, right? But I just want you to more importantly think about how much of that do you actually remember? Like specifically, what did you do during those hours? Like, what did you watch? What did you learn? How much do you take away? Almost nothing, right? Most people can't even remember like what they were doing for that much time on their phones. And compare that to the last time you tried to revise for an hour. You remember every single minute of it, right? It felt like physical effort. You probably checked the clock about 15 times. But there's something really wrong with that, because a 30-second TikTok takes zero effort, but it gives you nothing. A paragraph of biology in your textbook takes massive effort, but it gives you your grade. Your brain treats TikTok like the easy, obvious choice, and biology like it's the punishment. And that is not normal. That is your brain genuinely broken. I'm going to give you the science behind all of this in a second, but I want you to kind of listen to what I'm about to say and see if this sounds like you recently. You sit down to read a textbook page, but by the end of the page, you genuinely cannot remember what the first paragraph said. Or you're in a lesson and your teacher explains something, you've got it in the moment, but 5 minutes later, when they've moved on, the first thing is already gone. You're doing a past paper, and halfway through writing the answer, you forgot the question like completely. You sit down to revise and study, but you keep reaching for your phone. And the reason this is all happening, like I think the best way to encapsulate it is with an analogy. And so everyone explains like dopamine is like a pleasure or motivation chemical, but I'm gonna explain it in a way that I don't think anyone has before. Think of dopamine like your taste buds, but instead of for food, for stimulation. Have you guys ever eaten something so sweet that anything you eat afterwards just tastes bland? So for example, like you just eat like a load of ice cream and then you try eating an apple. Like that apple genuinely tastes like cardboard, right? Whereas imagine if you had an apple at the start of the day without having the ice cream, the apple is going to taste pretty good. It's even going to taste sweet. But simply because of the fact that you ate the ice cream before, the apple tastes disgusting. And that's exactly what short form content, what TikTok does to your brain. Each video is a sugar hit so intense that your taste buds get fried. And so studying tastes so disgusting and boring so that you can't genuinely focus on it. But the thing that's worrying about this is that your taste buds reset. If you have ice cream, if you wait like an hour, you can have an apple and the apple will still taste sweet. But that's not how it works for your dopamine levels. This Stanford addiction psychiatrist, Anna Lembke, has shown that when your brain gets hit with dopamine through like scrolling short form content that often, it physically down regulates your dopamine receptors permanently. Your baseline drops. So it's kind of like you eat an ice cream and your baseline is permanently lowered so that an apple will permanently taste worse. Like imagine that. So when you put your phone down and try to read a textbook, the textbook hasn't changed, but just like how the apple tastes disgusting, it feels so unbelievably boring and unstimulating that your brain can genuinely not focus on studying. And so the longer this goes on, the lower also that your baseline drops. And you start needing like the dopamine just to feel okay. And of course, studying is never in the picture and it feels so difficult.
Quick thing, and this is sponsored by Akiflow, but it made my planning so much easier, so it's worth listening to. The problem I always had was my tasks were so scattered everywhere, in my Notion, in my Gmail, and it was just really hard to navigate. And the planning would eat into the time that I was supposed to be saving. So here's what I do now. Akiflow pulls everything from Gmail, Notion into one inbox. So I'm not hunting across apps, and that part alone is worth it. Here's a new feature that's really useful. It can connect to Claude directly with their MCP feature. As you can see, you turn it on in settings, and now my AI assistant can see my schedule and build my calendar for me.
So what the MCP actually can do is it can access your calendar, your Gmail, like you see for me. And for me, how I'm using it is that it scrapes together all of my tasks and turns it into my calendar automatically. And it works with AI assistants like Claude, ChatGPT, and Cursor, and it really is really useful. And also Akiflow is offering a one-to-one onboarding course so that when you join, if you have any questions, they can help you set it up and make it dedicated and personalized to your own calendar. And as you can see, once I've done that prompt, it's put it together all really nicely automatically for my schedule tomorrow. But then of course, if I don't like it, I can tweak it by dragging to make it longer or shorter, or add in blocks. And by having it all in one place and automated, Akiflow simplifies time management by letting me block tasks like this, and it really has been a game changer for my productivity and yeah, being a student.
I went from like spending 20 minutes planning to basically just talking to it for 30 seconds. And for me, who's like really busy, having to balance like studying with recording, with all of these things, this system is the difference between sticking to it and just abandoning it. And so if you want to try Akiflow, it'll be the first link in the description, and it's free to try. If your tasks are scattered everywhere like mine are, this is the thing to try, and it will help you out so much.
And again, if this sounds really interesting and you want to use the MCP feature and Akiflow to help plan and manage your time as a student, make sure to check that out, first link in the description, and also remember the one-to-one onboarding call as well. So there's really no reason not to try it out.
But anyway, back to the video.
And so we can actually leverage this as students. Like, I'm not going to suggest some crazy stuff because ideally we would all delete social media and we would just study, but nobody lives like that. And I genuinely I'm really sick of people recommending that, because not only is it unfeasible, I know none of you will do that. Neither will I. I never have done that, like gone that extreme. Of course, like when I have exams coming up, I might delete Instagram temporarily, but like just cutting out social media and these stuff from your life completely is unfeasible. And so the thing that the workaround that I found is this. We have to realize is your brain craves relative like goodness. If you try go from scrolling to studying, scrolling this much fun, studying this much fun, it's going down. Down is bad. But if you go from really, really boring, even more boring than studying, like staring at a wall of paint drying, or like staring at grass, or just, I don't know, literally doing nothing, to studying, it's kind of like going from eating like boiled potatoes to an apple. An apple suddenly tastes way better, although the apple hasn't changed. You have changed. And you can kind of see where this is going, right? This is why wall staring actually kind of works. It's not because it's like healing your brain. It's simply because you're creating a moment. When you sit down and stare at a wall for 10 minutes, that moment is so boring. Your taste buds are getting like recalibrated, and you can start to actually like feel the fun. Because remember, wall staring, this much boring. Studying, still boring, but it's still above wall staring, and because you're going up, good, your brain likes it. And so that's why just putting your phone away and studying fails, because your brain is having to go from up to down, right? And so the fix isn't to lower the ceiling, it's to lower the floor. And so here's how to apply this like throughout your days. The principle is simple. Before you start any difficult task like studying, deliberately do something slightly more boring for a few minutes. The boring thing is the upfront. Your day should look like this, and I've said this in a lot of my videos, but dopamine loading is pretty much when you structure your days so that instead of like you do one thing, you scroll, you have a scrolling break, and then you try to go back to studying, and your day looks like a bunch of a series of these like jagged things. You want everything to be like a smooth uphill. You save all of your high dopamine things like Instagram, etc. for the end of the day, and then you do the difficult thing, studying like earlier, because the point of comparison beforehand is lower, so you're going up. But that's also difficult. Like, how many of you guys are just gonna check Instagram like at the end of the day? Like, not a lot of you, and that's fine. And so what you can actually just do is do the wall staring technique, which is before you do studying. So let's say you've been scrolling Instagram for 20 minutes. Don't go straight to studying. Make a point of reference lower than study. Go for a walk without music. Stare at a wall. Just do nothing. Look at grass. Point being, you want to make it so that it goes lower, so that studying feels easier afterwards. And so ideally, right, you do want to try and limit short form content. Like, I'll be real, like I try not to also as well, and just like kind of have moments in the day where you do feel bored. That is going to be the best kind of fix. Like, that is the long-term solution. Like, try and use short form less, read more, watch movies, like kind of do like the long form stuff, because that genuinely like increases your attention span. However, a quick kind of fix and hack that I found that works for students, so the TLDR, is basically to do the wall staring technique basically. And the reason that works, now you understand, is because down, bad. It's like when you go from like high dopamine to try and do boring, that's difficult, your brain's not gonna like it. So create a point of reference beforehand so that your brain can compare. Wall staring, doing nothing, is boring, and so when you go up, it's far easier. Hope that made sense. By the way, I run the #1 free school community for students. So school 2 period students, and as you can see, students like-minded students from around the world are all joining together to try and up their study game and get better grades. If you want accountability or want a study partner, this is the community to join, and it'll be in the description completely for free. But as always, I'll see you in the next video. Hope you liked it. Leave a comment. I love you.